different personality types. And then at the end of it, we will even take a little quiz to find out what each of our personality types are. So, with that being said, let's get into it. This is it. So, personality types. What code are you? So first of all, of course, with time, we experiences have certain changes in us. But when we say personality, we're referencing a relatively stable set of characteristics that influence an individual's behavior. So some things do stay consistent throughout our lives, and that's our personality there. So that's what we mean when we say personality. So first of all, let's give a little bit of context behind what this is, Myers-Briggs, which is what we're going to be talking about here. Here, let me actually hide my face a little just so that we can see the whole screen. So first of all, what is this Myers-Briggs? Well, the Myers-Briggs test was developed by a mother-daughter team in the 1940s, based off of the lifelong work of Carl Jung. Here we have the three individuals. Here's the mother-daughter team, Catherine Briggs and Isabel Briggs Myers. And Carl Jung, who's this guy, if you've ever taken psychology, you'll remember that he's credited as founding analytical psychology as we know it. So yeah, kind of a big deal. So this test, this Myers-Briggs test, was intended to bring everyday applications of Jung's work to the public in order to provide personality matches for social and work environments. It was a new interpretation of Jung's theory and added to it by including how people deal with the outside world. So it was an extension of sorts, and they augmented it by including this factor of how people deal with the outside world. And you might be thinking, Myers-Briggs, is that some weird thing that, I don't know, that is made up? Or well, there have been over 600 dissertations written about it and thousands of articles and books. It is a very popular personality type quiz thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but now's a chance to find out yours and find out a little bit more about it. So let me come back into the picture here. So at the end of this, you are going to get 4 letters. That's going to be your Myers-Briggs personality code. And yeah, let's talk about what the first letter is going to be. And that's going to be an I, an E, or an I. And that's extroversion and introversion. So this first letter refers to an attitude of how we experience the world around us. First one, which is extroversion. When you identify as the extroverted attitude, you relate more easily to the world of people and things outside of you. So an easy way to remember is to recognize that this prefix extra means outside. So you relate more easily to the world of people and things outside of you. When you identify as introverted attitude, you relate more easily to the ideas and concepts in your mind. So, so again, let's think about this prefix that precedes the word intro, which is inwardly. So if extra is outside and the prefix intro is inwardly, it's a good way to remember that, okay? So here, I like these little cartoons about extroversion. Look at some of these. And by the way, please be so kind as to follow on your PowerPoint. Here's some things about people with this attitude, the extrovert attitude, like variety and action, enjoy talking out loud about ideas, is stimulated by and responsive to people and actions in the environment. See, again, it's an interest in the outside, right? In the outside world. It's friendly and talkative, values friends and relationships. Check out these comics here, this little these little caricatures. So extroverts feel pulled outward by external claims and conditions. They're energized by other people and external experiences. So absolutely, an extrovert will be energized by going to a party or a gathering or something like that. That was funny. Accent maybe reflects that. So there's some like pitfalls, of course, to watch out for each type. Okay, here's some common traits. Gregarious, drawn to large number and variety of relationships. Enthusiastic, they like being with action and at the center of things. You know, that an extrovert will certainly be the one that when they come into the party, they're like, hello folks, the star of the party is here. It's like they will like the spotlight. Initiator, social facilitator, builds bridges among people, expressive, easy to know. Those are some traits of extroverts. Now, introversion, remember, that prefix means inward, right? Inwardly. So you remember how the extrovert was pulled outward and energized by outside experiences? Well, for an introvert, they feel pushed inward by external claims and intrusions. And rather than being energized by others outside and experiences outside, they're energized by inner resources, internal experiences. So reading or working out on, on your own, going for a bike ride, going for a hike, things like that. So yeah, certainly I would say I'm introvert. Every time I've taken that test, I always get introvert. Okay, check out some of these features. Energized by ideas, enjoys individual or one-on-one activities, thinks before acting, right? Because we're like experiencing this world in our head. And, there's some things to watch for though. May not communicate thoughts and feelings. Needs time alone to recharge. I know that's certainly true for me. Like, say, like after like a gathering or maybe a family gathering or just like a large hangout or something, afterwards I'll need time to recharge on my own, maybe read or something like that, or go on a bike ride so that always energizes me. So dislikes interruptions, must understand an idea or project before attempting it. So some things, as you're hearing these different traits, try to kind of guess which letter you're gonna get and see if you're right. That'll make it more fun. What you could do is maybe write on a sheet of paper like what you guess is the letter that you're gonna get, and then see if that's the one you actually end up getting after taking the test here. So some more traits of introversion. They're more comfortable with smaller groups and with one-on-one relationships. So yeah, if you're the one who you maybe like to hang out maybe like 4 close friends or something, as opposed to like going out in a group of 15, an introvert is drawn to the calm, away from the center of action. Remember how we talked about the example of the party, entering a party? The extrovert likes the spotlight and they'll be like, okay, I'm here, the star is here. Well, for introvert, it'll be like more low-key in that you want to be on the periphery, and that's where you thrive more. So contained, well-controlled, calm exterior. Some can say difficult for others. Others can say difficult to read. Okay, so that's the first letter. We have E and I, which is extrovert and introvert. Next letter relates to how you gather information. That's what it speaks to. So the letter S, which is for sensing, you're interested in what your 5 senses show you, what exists in the present. Okay, so the stuff like that you have before you, right, to gather information. Now, when you get N, which is intuition, that's the other option. You use your imagination to see new possibilities and insights hidden from the I. So that one, like, you like to use your creativity to see possibilities and what can be. And let's find out a little bit more. First off, of S. Here's this. I like these caricatures a lot. So someone with S, and be listening, thinking maybe you're S or maybe you're N. Try to see what you get. Try to guess what you'll get. An S likes precise directions, prefers using skills already learned, focuses on the present, wants material presented step by step, relies on experience rather than theory, is likely to recall details well. Maybe that's you, or you can instantly think of a friend. You're like, oh, this friend I know is an S. Enjoys tradition and custom. Let's take, and you guys can take a look at these as on your own as you have the PowerPoint. So S likes things that are definite and measurable. Starts at the beginning, takes things a step at a time, you know, linear. Reads instructions, notices details. Here's some traits. Some things, they like concrete things, depending on verifiable factual information and directions and indirect perceptions. Mistrusts fuzzy information. Realistic, pragmatic, you know, values usefulness or applications of an idea. More interesting than the idea itself. So it's like, okay, yes, but how can we use this in the real world? You know, experiential, heavily grounded by first-hand past experience, is reluctant to generalize beyond direct experience. Traditional, trusts what is familiar, supports established groups and methods, honors precedent. So this is S. Maybe that's you. If that's you, put a little S. That's what you're guessing for your second letter. Okay, for the N, needs opportunities to be creative and original. This is intuition. Likes tasks that require imagination. You know, I like to think of it like someone with intuition kind of is thinking like bigger picture. You know, you're using your imagination and creativity to see the bigger picture down the line, and you know, as opposed to, remember how the S likes to focus on the present. Well, someone with the N, someone with intuition, might look ahead into the future and see the bigger picture, and likes you know, dislikes routine, as opposed to, say, like someone with sensing, that they prefer like tradition and routine. Someone for N, they focus on the future, needs variety, is idealistic. But then of course there's some things to watch out for. May skip over facts or get them wrong, because if you're like so lost in your forward thinking, that maybe like the present details, you can overlook them. Let's look at these caricatures. They like someone with N, and someone that has intuition, likes opportunities for being inventive, jumps in everywhere, leaps over steps, skips directions, follows hunches. Look at this picture. This guy built this bicycle with the seat backwards and the handlebars backwards. So some things you do got to watch out for. With each letter, there's like certain pitfalls to watch out for. So this is a writing class, right? I thought of this example. Maybe you start your essay with your conclusion, because you're thinking ahead to establish a direction towards which to head. Okay, so that's N. Here's some more traits. They're comfortable with abstract thinking, with inferring information from ambiguous and unliteral information. So that's some, of course, someone with N would like art and textual analysis. Remember our lesson on that in literature and in film. So sure, someone with N enjoyed that type of work. So, someone with N, which is intuition, imaginative, intellectual, theoretical. You know, they like working with abstract, original. Often mistrust conventional wisdom. Interesting. Okay. So if that's the second letter, if the second letter is about how you gather information, so the third letter is about how you make decisions, and the two options are T or F here in the Myers-Briggs. First one is T, which is thinking, and the F is feeling. So when you make judgments with your thinking, you base your decisions on impersonal analysis and logic. I thought of Spock. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Star Trek. Spock was continually telling Captain Kirk, "That is highly illogical, Captain." Yeah, I instantly thought of Spock. F, when you make judgments with your feeling, you base your decisions on your values. So check this one out for thinking. Someone with this letter needs to know why things are done. May enjoy talking more with teachers than with peers, dislikes small talk, enjoys debates, can be devastated by failures. And like I said, some things that to watch out for each letter. Is task oriented, needs to know the criteria for grades and evaluations, enjoys research projects, needs to know why things are done. Let's take a look at these caricatures here for thinking. Sees things as an onlooker from outside a situation. So remember that the T's, since they base decisions on impersonal analysis and logic, then when it says here that they'll see things as an onlooker, that it means that they'll step out and try to see things as objectively as possible, looking at the empirical data. Here's what we have before us, and therefore let's make our decisions based upon that, and so that they step away from a situation and try to see things objectively, like a helicopter view. Like, look at this image. Even though this person is, maybe this person is, I don't know what this one, but this one has stepped away and is seeing it in more like a helicopter view. Takes a long view, spontaneously finds flaws and criticizes. So it's like someone with T is always like deconstructing things, and I guess one of the pitfalls would be you can't turn off your mind sometimes, and it's like if you're continually hypercritical and yeah, for my T's, it can be a little bit tiring to be around. So my sister's very much a strong T. Okay, here's some more traits of T's. Critical, comfortable making distinctions, categorizing, tough-minded, where, results-oriented, ends justify the means, sticks on the task, is firm, questioning, logical, reasonable. Just some traits. But here's the thing, as you're going to see from our results, it's not like you're going to get 100% what letter. It's going to be like you're going to get your results of which one will you have the highest of. So here's F. Remember, if the other one was thinking and using logic and to make decisions, then here's some for feeling. Remember that they use their values to make decisions. They can be sympathetic, but there's some is concerned about relationships and harmony. Views things from a personal perspective. See the picture here? Remember how the one with T was viewing things as an onlooker? This one with F sees things as a participant. Excuse me, from within a situation. They take an immediate and personal view, as opposed to the T, which they take a long view. So the F take an immediate and personal view. So take a look at some of these. It's concerned about relationships and harmony, but there's some things that F's got to watch out for. Enjoys pleasing people, has difficulty accepting criticism, sarcasm, and ridicule can be devastating. So if you're F, so some things to watch out for. All right, here's some traits. Accepting, is tolerant, it's tender-hearted, accommodating, effective, compassionate. Okay, and we have our last letter, our fourth letter, which is how you lead your life in terms of like how you proceed forward, right? So first one is J, which is judgment. When you live by J, you like to have things decided. Your life's likely to be planned and orderly. When you live by perception, which is P, sorry, I have to lower the volume a little bit. My house is a bit loud right now. Just gonna lower the gain here. There we go. Oh, the gain was all the way. Oh, that's the volume. Sorry about that. Let me lower the gain a little bit. Okay, so we were talking about, yeah, so J, orderly and planned. P, live by perception. You don't want to miss anything. Your way of life is likely to be spontaneous and flexible. Let's look at some of these for J. Gets assignments in on time, you know, you're like planning ahead. Is orderly, organized, and systematic. Generally has good study habits. Likes to get things settled and finished. Prefers expectations for assignments to be clearly defined. Works best when work can be planned and the plan is followed. So there's a lot of planning involved here. Look at some of these caricatures here. Enjoys being decisive. Likes clear limits and categories. Feels comfortable establishing closure. Here's some other traits. Early starter, systematic, scheduled, planful, methodical. So that if that's you, put a J there on your sheet of paper. Now we look at P. Let's look at some of these traits. Is curious, acts spontaneously, enjoys the activity itself more than the results. May start too many projects and have difficulty finishing them all. May turn in assignments late as a result of poor planning or time management. Hey, you who are a student, you're like, hey, oh man, that's me. So take a look at some of these little cartoons here. Someone with P enjoys being curious and discovering surprises. Remember, more ad hoc and likes, you know, adventuring and likes freedom to explore without limits. Feels comfortable maintaining openness. So this is a lot like, sorry about that. If you're going on a vacation, you might have like a general idea. Well, actually, maybe even not so much. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to, I don't know, go to Washington State and I'll go explore, see what I find, with like no like plans or things like that. So that would be this one. Some more P. Feels comfortable maintaining openness. So if you're a P, put a P there. If you think you're P, here's some other traits. Pressure prompted, prefers variety and multitasking, most effectively energized when working close to deadlines. Interesting. Casual, spontaneous, open-ended, strongly values preserving flexibility and freedom. Dislikes being tied down by long-range plans, makes flexible plans. Ad hoc planner. Moves quickly into action without detailed plans. Plans on the go, takes risks. So maybe you're P, or maybe you have a friend that is P, that maybe they'll just call you and say, hey, what are you doing right now? Oh, not much, just a bit of homework. Why, what's up? And they'll be like, hey, let's head on over to the beach and have a barbecue. Okay, I'm in. Pick me up in 15 minutes. That's very much just like jumping in. So now is actually your opportunity to find out what you are, what you're going to get. So hopefully you took your guess on your sheet of paper of what you think your Myers-Briggs code will be. Now is the time to find out. So simply click this link, 16personalities.com, and it'll take you here. And this is free, okay? So yeah, you don't have to pay or anything. You just go to take the test and you take it. And here's the thing. Answer honestly. Don't answer how you wish you were, or like an ideal version of yourself. Nope. Answer truthfully. Like, how are you really? Because that way you can get a more accurate result. Please, please, please. There's something else I want to point out. When you get your result, do not close it, okay? Leave the web page open, because you're going to use it for your write-up, which is the assignment for this week's module. It's how you're going to get points. So after you get your result, leave it open, okay? Don't close the web page, okay? All right, so that's that. And I look forward to seeing what you get and what you learn about yourself. So that concludes our lesson on Myers-Briggs personality types. Stay tuned for learning styles.